festivalcircuit.com and the director of the Oregon Short Film Festival. We have an event coming up at the Clinton Street Theater near downtown Portland on October the 14th, our Oregon Short Film Festival Fall 2022 event, where we screen films of all genres from drama to music videos to horror films to science fiction to everything you can think of. And we also have awards for individual acting performances. And one of those people who was nominated, just 5 nominations for Best Acting Performance, is Nicola Peluso. Hello, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Thank you for joining me. Excellent performance. Your film, and you say it in French, so you always say it better than me. But I'm going to go into some of the judges' notes about it. But I just want to congratulate you for being nominated for the award.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be nominated. I feel especially proud because it's my first piece of work as a writer as well. So it's just an absolutely tremendous honor. I'm very, very proud.
Well, good work on it. Go ahead and give me the synopsis of the film and pronounce it for me.
All right. So our short is called Perdre, and it's about 2 sisters who are reunited for the first time after the passing of their father. And
All right.
yeah. All right. I always love talking to you, Michael. You make me laugh, and then
well, both of you have excellent performances in this, actually. And we had an interview just more about the film earlier, a few months ago, and we talked about just the background of the film and how you met and how you performed. And I didn't know at the time that you were nominated for this award, but I wanted to read to you some of the notes that the judges, because when the judges when they do their thing. It's usually a double blind judging process where people aren't watching the films together, and we're kind of looking at the notes afterwards and then saying, well, what do you mean by this? What do you mean by that? And we start to narrow it down to acting or cinematography or editing or whatever the award may be. We go off the notes. People wrote things like it was an authentic performance, and they said both actors have very good chemistry. They talked about being real. So 2 different scorecards: real, authentic. They seem very believable. And I also got, you can tell that there's a real sadness here. Did something happen to one of them? I think someone else said, great acting performance. Are they sisters in real life? And someone else said someone's dad was a very, very bad boy, and now these 2 people have to clean it up. And people just on and on about the acting and about both of you, and your performance stood out as something that really touched people. And in our festival, we don't have our own films. Our judges don't have our own films. We don't have our own screenplays. We're truly fans of the work that we're looking at coming in, and unfiltered, no one knowing you or who you are or your past work. The judges really embraced what you did on camera. So great job.
thank you so much. I'm very honored.
So just to give people a little bit of a background who may not have seen the first interview, it did seem like your performance came from a personal place. And I'm not trying to ruin the whole film or ruin the whole premise of the film, but you got to give us a little bit of that personal attachment that came from this.
Oh my. Okay. Within story or the way I connected to my character.
Yeah, talking more about your performance. Like you were obviously, what I'm trying to get at, I'm not being clear. You were drawing upon something, right? You could tell that you were drawing energy from someplace. I'll give you an example. I've seen a film about a mom trying to rescue, her child from a car accident. The car is upside down in the film. And the performance by that person was so riveting that that they had thought about something. And that particular person didn't have a car accident, for their real life car accident, but had a situation where they had to rush their kid to the hospital, and they were very, very scared because they were bleeding a lot. And so actors a lot of times can pull from energy and pull from emotions. Did you have a pull? Was there something for you when you got into character that made you slip into this role and really deliver it like you did?
Oh, thank you for asking. So that's an interesting question. I want to give you the best answer, but I haven't actually explored that. So
Yeah, sure.
um, I did attend Lee Strasberg, and so my foundation is really in method acting. Um, and there are times where you work from previous life experiences and bring that into your work. But I found that I tend to use that less and less now in my work. So when I was what I found really interesting is that when I was writing Imogen, it was very different than becoming her. And that was a very interesting juxtaposition because when you create a character as a writer, um, you envision them, but actually my experience and perspective of her changed as I stepped into her shoes and got into her skin. Um, I found that as I got to know her, she informed the reactions um, that I was having when I was working on set with Deanna. I'm laughing at myself because I really want to give you the best answer, and it sounds so coded,
Sure.
scripted.
No.
Um, but I found that with her first, I really got to know her, everything I could about her, her way, not just her experiences of what she was going through in the moment, but who she was at her core, what her life experiences were that led her up to this moment when she and Anna meet for the first time. What are her intentions? What does she want out of the encounter? And once you have that really solid foundation of who this person is, as wholly encompassed as you possibly can, I just kind of let her do what she wanted to do in every scene. And that's just what came out of me. If I'm really honest, there are times where I watch the film, and as a producer, I've watched the film a lot. I would say, and it's a short, so I'd say maybe hundreds of times at this point. There are still moments, and I say this it's without ego or arrogance, but there are still moments in my work that surprise me because I don't know where they came from. They
Mm,
aren't mannerisms that I recognize as being my own. And I enjoy it. And I surprise myself when I get to see her alive there. Um, I think that's quite exciting when you're able to find that as an
mm.
actor. Because I think throughout this work we find new parts of ourselves by intertwining our lives with the characters. So, I don't know if
You
that
know,
answers the question
it
at all.
does. Well, there is no right or wrong, so you're good, and that's great to know. It's almost like watching yourself as a little bit of an out of body experience. And
Very much
when
so.
you, yeah, it's it can be, especially for someone who wrote it. Like, okay, it's one thing if you're the writer and you're not on camera at all, and you're watching this production take place, and you have a certain vision in your head, and now the production's taking place, and it's always a little bit different than the vision you had in your head. I mean, people even like Spielberg and stuff talk about things like that, how it's a little bit different. But here you are, you wrote it, you got some personal, experience and energy to draw upon, and now you're performing in it, and so you've got that conflict. Okay, I wrote it this way, is it going to turn out the way and it's evolving, and you're able to maintain your concentration and still create this character. I don't know, I can't be on both sides of the camera. How does your brain work like that? How do you, I mean, are you just so open to the evolution of it that you just went with it, or were you that person on set just like fighting for it to be a certain way? Like, how'd that all go?
No, so I personally, when I work, I love to go with it. And I think one of the most exciting things about this was that as the writer, I couldn't offend the writer if I changed the character, you know? And so I think the funniest thing is as well is that I actually wrote this with Deanna and I in mind. We really wanted to work together again. And she's such a powerhouse. And I thought, well, okay, what am I going to start with? And especially with a low budget project as well, we knew there were going to be a lot of limitations. And
Mm.
so when I started writing the script, I actually did the work in reverse. So I looked at it as, okay, what do I have? I have myself and Deanna. Done. Okay, the two of us. What are we doing? Okay, what locations do we have for free? and then I said, okay, we have the two of us. We have this, a myriad of locations where we can shoot for free. Okay, how are we going to shoot this in two countries? Okay, well, you're in LA, I'm in London. Let's up the production value. Let's do it across the Atlantic. Okay, great. So I actually started with this writing was, what can I work with, and what would be the most authentic experience for us, and how could we connect in a confined space. And from there, that's when I started brainstorming and building. And usually when I write, I build in my head, and then when I put it maybe for a few days, and then I put it down on paper really quickly. So I think I wrote the short start to finish in about a half an hour. And it was initially it was a 23-minute film. And then we found during the edit that there were some scenes that were unnecessary. And we also really wanted it to pack as much of a punch and be as powerful as possible. And we realized that actually cutting it down to 12 minutes was probably a better way to go. And really kind of flesh out the essence of our relationship. So this film really has evolved. Even the script has evolved from being what was, a pile of pages that we've shot. We have so much extra footage, and just allowing it to guide us and to show us what it wanted to become instead of restricting it to what it needed to be. So from writing it, and then the director and I did a lot of work, of course, strategy and how we're going to shoot it and all the production side. I think the biggest challenge was wearing so many hats as you have to do in an independent, low budget production. So the only time I ever felt taxed really was I was craft services, I was producer, so,
Sure.
between takes, I'm like, does anyone need any food? I bought everything, like the whole Trader Joe's, and the director was staying in Santa Monica and we were shooting in Los Feliz and I was in Studio City. So I was getting up at like 5 a.m, driving to the beach, picking him up, driving into Los Feliz. There was one point we shot for 2 days straight. And at one point we just like fell asleep on the couch for like 4 hours in the middle of the afternoon, woke up. It's like, what are we doing? Time to shoot, It's just this little skeleton crew to get back at it. But yeah, like once I was done writing it, just parked it to the side. And for me, I'm the most alive when I get to act. I love it. And so I got to shift my focus from, okay, here's what Nikki does as a writer. Here's this structure that I've built. But now, okay, so what does my instrument do as an artist? And then just kind of let it fly. And also it changes as well, because it's one thing writing for another actor or writing for yourself, but in the moment, the dynamic shifts. So Deanna brought so many amazing things in the moment. And I if I'm rigid and I'm stuck to how I think it should be played out as a writer or even as an actor, if I'm confined to one way I think my character should react or perform, then I'm not giving life and energy to the moment. I'm not honoring that experience, and then it won't be authentic. So I just thought I want to naturally respond to whatever Deanna offers me as Imogen. And if I can do that, then that's enough. That's all I can hope for.
Wow. Your ability.
I'm rambling.
No, that's not a ramble. That was awesome. Like,
okay.
Your ability to compartmentalize, I'll compress it. The way you're able to compartmentalize all the things that are going on with production, pre-production, thinking about post, trying to make the production happen, your ability to really make that happen, acting wise, it was amazing. Like people are very impressed by both of you, by the way.
Thank you. She's tremendous as well. Definitely.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Very, 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 very good work. And we're impressed. Again, you're making us look good on screen, and we're happy to screen at the festival, and hopefully we can have you here with us while we celebrate a near sellout and packed house already. It's 3 weeks away from the event. So thank you for sending us such good work, and congrats on your award nomination.
Thank you so much. And I have to say double thank you, because I know we're also nominated for Best Drama Short.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And
you guys are spoiling us.
Yeah, we are a little bit. It's to get nominated for just for so many awards, it's pretty amazing. And you earned it. You earned it. You put the time in, you put the effort in, you put the energy in, you put the time. When there was a time in that period of post-production when you're probably the only one sitting there with that hard drive and everybody else has gone on
Yeah.
to do work and other things.
Right.
To sports analogy, to pick the ball up and keep rolling, it's just amazing. So good work on this.
Thank you so
And
much. And on behalf of my team as well, everyone's so grateful for the nominations and the recognition. So
thank you.
I hope to join you in Oregon in a few weeks.
I hope so. Fun times ahead. Well, have a good one.
Thanks. You too. Have a great day.
No worries. Take it easy.